5, 4. No? Okay. Great. Yeah.
Okay. Calling into order the Public Safety, Intergovernmental and Military Affairs Committee hearing of Tuesday, February 8th at 1 p.m. So if you're getting ready, I'll introduce the members of the committee. We have Senator Lynn DeCoit, Senator Gil Revere, Senator Kurt Favela, and I think that is it. I don't see anyone else on the Senate. Let me give you what we have to say. The testifiers will be asked to keep their video off until we approach their turn to testify. Therefore, if your video settings are set to hide non-video participants, please refer to the testifier list if you want to know whether a member of the public is supposed to be present. And if we have to adjourn, I guess we will give the stated time and date when we'll be doing it. Okay. Anyway, this meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. And in the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at, in this case, would be this Thursday, which would be February 11th at 1 o'clock. A public notice will be posted at the legislature's time website. Testifiers participating remotely, your audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. And because of the length of and the shortness of the time, we have 90 minutes. Each testifier will be given 90 seconds. For testifiers, okay, they'll be muted until your video, until it's your time to testify. I'll be reading a list of individuals who submitted written testimony for each measure. We apologize if the closed captioning doesn't accurately transcribe the names. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website. You'll find a link on the status page for the measure. So, as I said, we're beginning this February 8th at 1 o'clock hearing. If we have any technical problems, I'll be moving on to the next testifier, and if time permits, I'll call on you again until we've heard the rest of the Zoom testifiers. And I think that's basically it. So now we can begin with the first bill, Senate Bill 2156-2156. And the first testifier is Luke Myers. Luke, are you there?
Yes, sir. This is David Lopez. I'm the executive officer standing in for Luke. Good afternoon, Chair. Jaime stands on its testimony, and we offer support. We stand on the comments that we've already put forth. We're available for any discussion, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Craig Hirai. Is Craig there?
Present Chair.
No. Then we have no other testifiers. So at this point, members, if you have any questions, otherwise we'll move on to Senate Bill 2591. And we have General Kenneth Hara for the DOD. General, are you ready?
Chair, this is Ron Hahn. I think General Hara may have another commitment at this time, but I know he stands in strong support of this measure based on his written testimony.
Okay, so Ron, you're next, so it's your turn.
Thank you so much, Chair Nishihara and Vice Chair DeCoit and all the members of the committee. Thank you for reintroducing this measure once again. You know, this goes kind of back quite a few years when Representative K. Mark Takai was part of this committee, this task force, if you will, that was looking at all the different things. They did public hearings. They did a lot of things, you know, surveys, and they found out that it would be best to build this memorial in the Hawaii State Veteran Cemetery as a primary location, with replicas at the other 7 state veteran cemeteries on the neighbor islands. And so we're just appreciative that this committee is hearing this today. And I know we might want to talk more, so I'll reserve any other comments other than for questions. Thank you, sir.
Okay, members, any questions? Just like to say, Ron, I hope we can finally get it done.
Well, just thank you for your advocacy, sir.
Thank you. We have people in support, but they're not on the video. Arthur Tulak for Military Order of Foreign Wars in support. Lawrence Enomoto for VFW Department of Hawaii support. Mark DiVirgilio testifying for the American Legion in support. And it brings us to Blair Suzuki. Blair, are you on the call?
Not present, Chair.
Okay, but he's in support as well. Ren Kaupico.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, he's also in support. Carlos Santana in support. Mike Golohue Sr. in support. So members, any questions? Otherwise, we'll move to Senate Bill 2420. William Hoshijo.
Yes, Chair. Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and members. Bill Hoshijo for the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission. You have our written testimony, and the HCRC does not disagree with the basic proposition and principle that sex discrimination should not be imported into state law. However, in this case, state legislation cannot trump the federal law in this instance, and so that's the basis for the basic basis for our opposition.
Okay, thank you, William. Patricia McManaman. Stands opposed to it. There are no other testifiers. Members, any questions about this particular bill?
Chair, I have a quick question. This is
Sure.
Gil Riviere. Has the federal government changed its policy? And I don't believe they are yet requiring women to register. Do we know the status of that? And going back to the prior testifier, it seemed like we would be premature passing this if the feds have not already done so.
Well, no, as far as I know, I probably would take congressional action to do that. Probably would have to change maybe I'm not sure it's constitutional, but it's we certainly would require congressional action. And so I think it's not something the state can do on its own.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a late testimony here. Dara Carlin. who is also opposed. Okay, at this point, we'll move on to Senate Bill 3085. And Moises Kauivi.
Yeah, hello, Chair Nishihara and Vice Chair DeCoit, and members of the committee. The Department of Defense stands on its written testimony in support of Senate Bill 3085. We're standing by for any questions that you might have.
Okay. We also have comments from Shelley Park Huapili, who's a staff attorney with the judiciary, Lawrence Enemoto, who sent in support for the VFW. And that takes us to the end of that testifiers. Members, any questions about this bill? Okay, otherwise we'll move on to Senate Bill 3086. And we have Jamie Collins for Department of Defense, Office of Homeland Security.
Good afternoon, Chair Nishihara, Vice Chair DeCoit, and members of the committee. I'm Jimmy Collins. I'm the acting administrator of the Hawaii Office of Homeland Security within the State Department of Defense. We stand by both our Defense Department and Office of Homeland Security testimony in support of this measure, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. So General Hara for DOD.
He won't be joining us, sir. He's taken by another meeting.
Oh, okay. He's also in support. So that takes us to the end of the list of testifiers. Members, any questions? If not, we shall move on to Senate Bill 3087. Again, I guess Senate General Hara is not available, but he's in support. Luke Myers.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair. This is David Lopez, Executive Officer for HIEMA, speaking on behalf of Administrator Myers. And HIEMA stands in testimony in support. We offer the comment that this would align us with the National Emergency Management best practices, and it would provide a precise, logical organization to the state's emergency management laws. As always, we're available for any discussion on this that you would like, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Fina Bonanan sent in testimony in opposition to it. Any others? Members, any questions? Otherwise, we're moving on to Senate Bill 3089. Luke Myers.
Yes, sir. Again, Chair, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, David Lopez, Executive Officer, on behalf of Administrator Myers. HIEMA stands on its testimony in support, and we offer the comment that this would provide clarity in coordination and control when emergencies exceed local capabilities, and it would require the governor's approval for EPs or other orders under those circumstances. And we're, of course, available for your discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. General Hara, I guess, is not available, but he also stands in support of the measure. Randy Pereira, HGA. Is Randy there?
Not present, Chair.
Okay, he sent in letters of support. And the others are just like Robert Kavako, president for the Shopo, is opposed. Sandy Ma, comment clause is send comments. Levana Loma, testified for our rights, send comments. Joe Kent, executive vice president for Grassroots, send in comments. Rita Kama Kimura, in support. Dr. Marion Cerruti is opposed. Jim Hochberg sent in comments. Ellen Kaneko sent in comments. Alice Abe Lanidia in support. And Sharon Martin sent in comments. And those are the end of that list of testifiers. So, members, any questions on this bill?
Chair, yes,
Okay.
I have a question. Hi, I have
Sure.
a question for Hawai'i folks.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of testimony encouraging us to insert a provision that would allow the legislature by 2/3 vote to end emergency measures. From your point of view, or from your departments, how would that affect your support for this bill if that were added?
Well, sir, this bill does have a provision for terminating emergencies, that we would not have to wait for the expiration to run clean through the 60 days, and that the governor or the mayors could terminate the emergencies based on the circumstances, and we would prefer that measure.
Okay, but it does not presently allow the legislature to, so after 2 years of emergency measures, the legislature would not have authority to end it if this bill goes forward as proposed?
That's my understanding, sir, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Yes, sir.
Chair, you're muted.
Oh, who's muted now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Senate Bill 3335. Luke Myers, Haima.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, David Lopez, Executive Officer, speaking on behalf of Administrator Myers. And Haima stands in its testimony in support of this. We support the funding provided there are no budgetary conflicts. We're available for any discussion, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Craig Uri sent in comments. Daryl Barrett Ing testifying for Civil Air Patrol. Is Daryl there?
Not present, Chair.
Okay, he sent in testimony and support. Chantel Lonigan, Civil Air Patrol, sent in support. Lawrence Enomoto sent in support. Denton Alvarado sent in support. Edgar Lopez in support. Amy Nicanor in support. Grace Schoenhart in support. Andrea Fujita in support. Matthew Verichek in support. Darcy Kawamura in support. Danny Coldevar in support. Catherine Palatico in support. And that takes us to the end of the list of testifiers. So members, any questions on that, on the Civil Air Patrol? If not, can we go to the break room?
It's so heavy because
We're ready. Okay, we're calling it back into session. Senate, the hearing of Tuesday, the 9th at 1 p.m. And I see that we have Senator Baker as well with us. Okay. So I think we have the full committee, and these are the recommendations. Senate Bill 2156 to pass it unamended, to pass it as is. Members, any questions? Otherwise, Senator DeCoit, can you take the vote?
Sure.
I go aye.
Members voting on SB 2156. Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye, Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Baker.
Aye.
Senator Rivera.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your member has been, your motion has been adopted. Your measure has
Thank you.
been, sorry.
Thank you. On Senate Bill 2591, again, to pass it unamended. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 2591, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is, recognizing all members here. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure is adopted.
Thank you. On Senate Bill 2420, based on the recommendations and concerns by the parties that spoke on it, we'll defer this measure indefinitely. Okay, on Senate Bill 3085, to pass with amendments offered by the judiciary, requested the last sentence on which states, in the rulings of an appeal, the appeals court may act only with respect to matters of law, and to have it deleted from this measure. Also, SMA requests that on pages 147, lines 14 and 20 should be semicolons. Effective date on page 173, line 12 should be read as, this act shall take effect on January 1st, 2023. And we need to do a Senate draft on this one. So with that, to pass Senate Bill 3085 with amendments, Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3085, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, recognizing all members here. Any reservation or any nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure has been adopted.
Thank you. On Senate Bill 3086, to pass it unamended, Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3086, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is, recognizing all members here. Any reservations or any nays?
Reservation.
Reservations for Senator Favela. Okay, Chair, measure has been adopted.
Okay, Senate Bill 3087 to pass it unamended. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3087, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is, recognizing all members here. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure has been adopted.
Thank you. On Senate Bill 3089, inclination is to pass with amendments offered by, as suggested by HTA and Shoko, to amend section 5 on page 11, beginning on line 6 of paragraphs 127A to 14, state of emergency, which adds E. The legislature may, by an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the members to which each house is entitled, terminate a state of emergency in part or in whole declared by the governor pursuant to this section. So to pass it with amendments. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3089, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, recognizing all members here. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure has been adopted.
Okay, and the last measure, Senate Bill 3335 for the Civil Air Defense, to pass it unamended. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3335, Chair's recommendation to pass unamended, recognizing all members here. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure has been adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, members. And this concludes the hearing.